everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. Today, we've got an exciting matchup on tap. It's the Broncos coming in at 1-4, going up against the Chargers, who come in at 1-3. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, we are at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, as you get a look at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. Today, it's a matchup in the AFC West between the San Diego Chargers and the Denver Broncos. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the Simeon on first down. And did he get the feet down? No, they'll say he did not. It's incomplete. The offensive lineup now, and the guy we highlight, Emmanuel Sanders.
You can use him in any spot as a wide receiver. In the slot, out wide. It doesn't matter. He just makes plays.
So 2nd and 10 here. Back to the air, Simeon on 2nd down. Throwing right side, that's complete. Demaryius Thomas. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First down coming there on the intermediate passing play. That's been a point of emphasis, they told us in practice, using those medium routes to keep the defense off balance.
And it wasn't just them telling us. We got to watch them practice it and work on it because they've been trying to fine-tune it and get it right before this game. And I think they have to be happy with the result.
Now a carry, it's C.J. Anderson. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
All right, here we go. Boom,
On 2nd down, here's Simeon. Green with a catch left side. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
12 yards there as they move the chains.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice gain.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
To throw on 2nd is Simeon. Left side here to Sanders. And he gets it down to the 32. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. Throwing on 3rd down, Simeon. And it's caught over the middle by the tight end, Green. And they'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
And the 13-year man puts it through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So the opening drive for them here on their home turf results in a field goal.
Now that's the way you want to get things started. Your stadium, your crowd, you've got the ball, put points on the board first, and let everyone start to celebrate.
So the D-line's going to spread out. Hyde, the lone man in the backfield. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Man open left side. It's Williams. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down. And here's a look at the starting offense. Second down now after the pass completion. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. They'll need to get the play off quickly. He'll look to throw. Henry's got it out on the left side. And Henry's hit. He lost the football. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And Denver getting... time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
No gain on the play there. Second down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9. Now it's the Chiefs' all-time leading rusher. It's Jamal Charles on the carry. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. He made his first attempt, this from 45. And this one is right down Broadway. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So they recover the fumble but could not take advantage of the short field. They do get 3.
And no one ever turns down 3 points going up on the board. But the offense will go to the sidelines wondering what if. While the defense on the other side, they'll celebrate holding them to just a field goal after giving up such bad field position.
The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though? When they only gave up the field goal, and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
They'll look to throw. Caught left side, Williams. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. They'll set up to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Derek Wolfe coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's got a man. It's Corey Coleman. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. And here's a look at the defense for Denver.
I love watching T.J. Ward play. Whether it's covering in the deep zones or blitzing, this man makes plays.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Out of the gun now on third down. He's got time in the pocket. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. To punt it away on fourth down, here's Drew Kaiser. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
So the incomplete pass brings up second down. Back to the air, Simeon on second down. Green's got it over the middle. And he's brought down after a good gain. A gain of 32 that time. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on it. Really well done. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. So completion on second down, that brings up third. Simeon on third down. And able to find Green. The 13 yards that time at a first. And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now Simeon. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. On second down, Anderson. And they'll get him down right about the 20. A 3-yard pickup on second and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on third and a little more than a yard. I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt. They'll try to sneak with Lynch. It's a gain of just a couple there, but it's enough to get them the first. Well, they pick it up on 3rd and 1 on the quarterback sneak, and that's not easily done because there are extra bodies in there on the defensive side, and they're moving forward at the snap. Yeah, I was certainly expecting a handoff, weren't you? Yeah, I totally was. I thought they'd go with a back, maybe try and get a lead blocker in front. But as you talk about in different games, those guys with confidence in their offensive line, they just want to move forward and get it. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal. I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender. Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on.
Let's go. 3-19.
And here now it's 2nd and goal. Ball on the 7-yard line. A strong running. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. And back at the 8 now. 3rd and goal. Now Simeon on 3rd and goal. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Virgil Green, his first touchdown on the year. And the Broncos will add on to their lead.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. A stampede of Broncos there that time combined to get him down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Derek Wolfe in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. And how about this? It's the other Brandon Marshall that picks it off. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. And now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll come out in the pistol. Short yardage situation. Here's Charles. A loss of a... Now the Chargers are going to look up here and signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And Scobie's kick is good. And that will swell the lead to 16. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
Not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though this offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points.
Now Jones. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They go back to the air here after the INT. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Travis Benjamin that time. And now it's second down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. On first down, he'll drop to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Derek Wolfe in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. On second down, Hyde. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. So we reach halftime in what's been and now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And the mile-high air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. Going up top. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call and get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
The intended target was Corey Coleman, and it's fourth down. Here's Drew Kaiser now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And out will come the offense as they take over. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. And now they're in the hurry-up. On second down, here's Simeon.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver. And now it's third down.
Well, sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
Throwing on third down, Simeon. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Here's Riley Dixon now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Out comes the San Diego offense as they get set to see what they can do here. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Now high, and he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
When you put together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
It's already 2nd and 12. The defense hoping to push them back more. Hyde, the lone man in the backfield. They'll look to throw here. No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his second there.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. They'll drop to throw, and he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're coming off a 3 and out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so
so
well. Go to something
else.
else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
He'll get 3 up to midfield. The gang of Charger defenders there for the tackle. And they're going to speed things up here.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves. And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
From the red zone now, Simeon. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Throwing again is Simeon. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Virgil Green is tied in the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and 4. Down here in the red zone, you know your tight end is going to be a favorite target. Couldn't hang on.
And sometimes they just have to get out of their own head because they understand how tight windows are there and how many bodies are there. And sometimes they just overthink it and don't catch the ball.
Now Simeon, left side here to Sanders. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
I don't care how many times we say it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Jeremiah Tauchu in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Charles the low setback. And he'll get it up the middle. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll make it 3rd and goal.
Not only was that a terrific play, but that loss of yardage they created this close to their own goal line, that gives them a little breathing room now as they move them back.
And they're breathing fire a little bit right now, aren't they?
A lot of confidence being shown by them at this point of the game.
3rd and long. It's Simeon to the sideline, and a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4th. So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And Scobie's kick is good. And that will make this now a 19-point advantage. So make him 4 out of 4 now in the field goal department, and he's able to extend their lead.
When drives have bogged down, he's been automatic out there. So nice to have a kicker you can count on to put points on the board.
And now San Diego getting set to go. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. Looking to throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
3rd down and 4. It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. They'll look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. And they're on 3rd and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL.
So the D-line's going to spread out. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He'll look to throw. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. So they complete the pass, and now they face a 2nd down. And quickly, they get to the line. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
This has been a really nice day for the defense. They've made it so difficult to find open receivers because they're able to squeeze the passing lanes down. A lot of what they're doing is communicating. Receivers in one area, receivers in another area. They're almost what they call passing them off from one defender to the next, even in zone defenses, and making it very hard to find an open spot for the quarterback to deliver the ball. It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Here's Drew Kaiser now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
2nd and 10, Simeon again. Looking again for Thomas, this time complete. And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15.
Well, that wasn't exactly a thing of beauty. I know they completed the pass, but look at the yardage lost. I mean, who does that make happy?
That's why I don't play in PPR points per reception fantasy leagues right there.
You'd be really
You don't deserve
upset,
anything
right?
for that.
But you get credit for it? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Well, I know whoever has this team's defense, they were happy about that play.
Screen pass to Charles. They needed 15. They got 16 and a first down. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
On 1st and 10, Simeon. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be second and about a yard. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
From the 50, it's Simeon. He'll let this thing go for Sanders. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I like the boldness, and I like that they took a shot downfield, but it was well covered. He's able to get a hand in and knock it away.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And able to find Green. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the offense moving quickly to the line.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position. All right, I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. 3rd and short, it's Booker. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Now it's Simeon. Screen play, Anderson. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's 2nd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
On 2nd down, here's Simeon. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
And they'll go back. Now the Chargers are going to look up here and signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. And Scobie's kick is good. And that will extend their lead now up to 22. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now San Diego getting set to go. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Time for a break. And that'll be incomplete. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. He'll try again with the arm here on second down. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Out of the gun now on third down. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Second down here after the incomplete pass. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
9 yards on the play and a first down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. His throw incomplete. Tyrell Williams was the intended target, and it's second down.
When everything is in sync on defense, that means everyone's communicating really well, and sometimes it's nonverbal. They just know that when a receiver's in one spot, this person may have him, and he's in another spot, the next defender may have him. And they've squeezed the passing lanes down to where it's so difficult to find an open area to deliver the football. They've made it tough on them all game long.
Hyde, the lone man in the backfield. And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
Now back to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it or maybe change what they do on offense.
And that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now. Again, he'll drop to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
They decided to air it out a little bit on that play, take a shot downfield, but the coverage was really nice, able to get a hand in and tip it away. And the Broncos go to a nickel set on third down.
Yeah, they've got an extra DB out there. Back to throw. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
All right, here we go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's complete. Henry. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. 22 yards on the pickup there. And the decision to go for it pays off. They've got a 1st and goal. A long drive here. Play 12 coming up for the offense.
Set. Green, 39.
They'll look to throw again. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field.
Back 99, Philly, here we go.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That's caught at the 2. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. They got to have 6 here. It's 3rd and goal. They'll run for it with Hyde. And he's in across the chalk. Touchdown, San Diego. Carlos Hyde, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Chargers, they're able to cut into that deficit. And it's incomplete. It was an exercise in futility anyway. It doesn't affect the final outcome, and this one's over. So they tried to tack on 2 more. Wouldn't have mattered as far as who won and who lost.